I'm Steve Monkey Mason and welcome to Off That Rant. Yes, that's right. Now, off that rant of me when I go on a little mad, I start with one direction and then I hit a roundabout and I get lost, and that's what Off the Rant are all about. You go right, and Off That Rant. These are new shows. Now, we've talked about uploading mini DV tapes, and we've also talked about sheep in the middle of nowhere with the fog rolling in and the disastrous. So these are like life stories. Now this one is quite interesting because this is where I want to kind of take this series, and this is one of the first times I'm literally going to use some old school BTFA footage and explore it. For years, the idea of bringing BTFA to the internet, and the internet version has been on the cards, whether it be through the Branches series or sort of going, right, why can't Kill 'em the Ball and be on the internet? Make a massive list and going, right, we can't show that on the internet for YouTube, like you know, again, it was made for an 18 rated film. So yeah, some of BTFA is a bit stupid. It's all kids, kind of like younger stuff, younger years, 20 years ago, this footage I'm talking about, that's the kid wrestling. I was a kid when I started filming my life. I'm now an adult, I'm going a bit insane. But right, okay, so this one is called, I have no idea. It's always been known as breaking and entering. I've never broken and entering in my life. I want to tell you what this is. I'll tell you really what this is. This is one night me and Raoul were so stoned, right? Well, what we're going to do, right? Now, Raoul goes, I can climb in my bedroom window. And I'm like, really? Like, how would you even know that? And he's going, well, look myself out, you idiot. And I was like, right, that's fine. So, what you're about to see is Raoul climbing up through his bedroom window, taking as much time as he wants.
We're gonna fucking break him. Put some shampoo and shit on his face. Let's lock the door, little cunt. We'll fucking show him out.
So as you've seen in the first and Off That Rant, when I talk about uploading mini DV stuff, I mentioned Raoul reacting to this footage years ago. And again, this is stuff that's been lost in the archive, lost in the era of tapes. But this footage is the way it was, it's quite preserved. So after that, I'm thinking, what can we do? And at the time, I'm going pretty bold. So I've started wearing like a t-shirt off-cut around my head to stop me Bill Murray, Michael Barrymore happening. So I go, I know, I'll get in the window. Like physically, I am the banter, I am coming through the window. So I'm like hanging out the window. Like, there's no one down there to save me. And I'm coming in and I'm going to do the fall into the living room. So I do the fall.
Hi, monkey, hi. Hi.
Now, once we're in, Pearson was generally asleep because Pearson was running shifts, and Raoul and me decided to tie Pearson up while he was asleep.
Right, let's get this one.
What the fuck's going on? Fuck off!
You got him tied up. So.
Get him! Get him!
Right. Just keep them there, keep them there.
Fuck off! What you doing?
Oh, he's a roughin'. He's a roughin'. He's 5'6".
What's going on? Get the fuck off me!
5'6".
I'll fucking kill you, you cunt!
We've just gotta tag him. Tag him.
What's going on?
Tag him.
What the fuck you doing?
Just tagging you. P.
Quite.
5'6". P56. The paedophile. 5'6".
So that was the next step. Pearson's asleep, we tie him up, and Raoul measures him. He's 5'6". And then for years, he wasn't just called P anymore, he was called the Pedophile 56, and P was like, you can't fucking hate being called that, and for a while it stuck. And we even shortened it down to like P56. And then we're just like, right, we'll just call him P. But that was the original Pedophile 56. And like, that was just, again, we were just having fun and having use of the camera. And like, this footage is 20 years old. That's what I'm talking about, man. And like, after that, we were like, well, what now can we do? And like, we're constantly just, I mean, we might have had a fucking smoke break at this point. So again, we probably weren't thinking the logical. DVD was coming along. Raoul was like, I don't need a VHS player anymore. So okay, oh, we'll do something with that. So again, in this, like, again, this is what Raoul was getting, pathetic.
Oh, dude. This is the most pathetic thing I've ever done in my life.
So yeah, we walked into the living room, and we just left the living room there. We walked in the living room, for some reason, Raoul's like skips across, like fucking Brick Mail from fucking The Young Ones, picks up his guitar, plays one note, and it just fucking flies across the room after he's played it. It's just like, and it's like, why the fuck did you do that? And I've got the video player, and by this point, Pearson's awake, so Pearson now films it, see the start. I film Raoul go through, Raoul films me. And now Pearson's like, right, well, fuck, we might as well like help this film, whatever you're going to do. Bear in mind, this is on mini DV, and you know what I mean. And I'm thinking, you know, there's some kind of early like directing coming out there. So anyway, the next scene is let's run through the kitchen. That's right, straight on the floor again. But again, that take wasn't good enough, so I did it again. It's at this point that the VHS player is definitely probably not going to work again, and it's fucking mental to see Raoul's house. And like in Killing the Boredom, because of Killing the Boredom was all like sectioned up, and like I wanted everything to have its like Raoul's house has got its own section, right? And there's a skit we filmed days after this in Raoul's kitchen where we tied Pearson in for proper, and then Raoul freestyle rap over some classical music while Pearson was up there, and that was always sped up and it was always kept in the Killing the Boredom movie. So it's synonymous, it had nothing to do with that night in question, but in the movie it would start like that, and then the music would hit and it would be a massive montage of Raoul's house. You know, I have Scott, Darren, P, anyone who's hanging around at Raoul's house at the time, Sam the dog, you know what I mean. There was some absolute, it's one of the best eras of my life. Like just out of school with your friends, you know what I mean. Some crazy ass times for sure. And that's, and one of the sections I love about Killing the Boredom is that. And like Pearson tied up, it bounces. See, the police end up at the end, but like you just see Pearson on the street corner, and like you see people walking past now, and like on the corners of the streets, and some of the streets it was filmed on are gone. So anyway, off that rant, to start it, I've got the video player. We're about to leave Raoul's house, and this is one of the most iconic things of BTFA. But again, it was never up there in the top 10 because you can't really see what's going on. You can't. I leave the house with Raoul. The plan is to run up the street, and we're going to try and finish this up. It did not go to plan, and this is the rawest footage. This is the first take. Watch it. Yep, that's right, Raoul shuts the gate. I don't know he's going to shut the gate. That entire gate comes off. That is hard wood. And my instant reaction is to twist. The video player at this point is fucking dead. And I am lucky I didn't break my arm trying to protect my face falling. Like, that knacked. Now the thing is as well, what made this special, I go into off that rant when I go back to the first episode and talk about tape breaking and what happens if someone presses the button. Pacing presses record and stop and start, and there's a break. And that's what happens back on the day when you're filming on tape. If someone recorded something, didn't record something, someone forgot to record something, you could miss stuff. And like again, when you're making a movie, chop. But one of the problems with that and Killing the Boredom, it's a hellish impact. It fucking hurt like fuck. But there wasn't enough time in Killing the Boredom movie for me to talk about every single scene, you know what I mean? So again, it's talking about, that's one of the most iconic bits for me personally, because you couldn't predict that. And that's one of the early scenes where, like to me personally, going, all you need is a camera. And you never know what's going to fucking happen. You need your right friends around you, and like people who know that it's better than fuck all, let's do this. And that's one of the early scenes, and I'm fucking over the moon to be actually sharing it with you. I would love Raoul in the present day to like it. Raoul would just fucking fuck off. I mean, pacing. The idea of revisiting some of this stuff in a later date is going to be possible once COVID all fucks off and the world gets right. But for now, I'll see you in the outtakes. Just to put it in there and leave this with a massive like, oh fuck, because I could think of loads of other stuff, but again I want to keep this quite neutral. There was one scene where I knew one thing was going to happen. I didn't know the second was, and again you talk about this old footage, this has probably never been seen on the internet. It might appear in some showreels and stuff like that, but in its rawness, right? So I'm sitting in front of the couch, sitting on the couch in front of the TV, my hair's really long, Darren's sitting next to us, Laura. If you listen to Laura, very particularly in this footage as well, she's like, what do I press? And what she's meaning was, what do I press to turn it off? And we were filming some stuff now. I think Pearson's somewhere in the there's somebody over this side. But Scott's behind the door, right? And Raoul's meant to come in, and Raoul's meant to hit me with a bit of wood, right? And it was, again, we were working on these ideas of just like, again, inspired maybe by the young ones and stuff like that. We're going for this like anarchy in the house and stuff like that. So I knew Raoul was going to do that, and when he hits us, it hurts. But then after, I did not know this was coming, and fuck me, man. I'm lucky to be alive.
What do I press?
What? Go on, Raoul.
Oh. You alright, Bungie?
Are you alright? Take your hand off, man, so have a look.
Here's a look.
Take your hand off, see that? Oh, shit! Fucking hell! Shit! Holy, you just killed him. Holy shit!
Bang!
Bang! I totally miss Scott. Like, I haven't seen Scott in good, like, ages now, but like, I panned him first, and that was his retaliation.
Fucking 2 by 4. Fucking love that. What is that, fucker? Monkey, you fuck go home. Fuck off. Fuck off!
So this has been Off the Rant. No idea what it's called. So it's a better an FA break than an entering. But for now, I've been Steve Monkey Mason. Thanks for watching this. Subscribe to Lonely Tree Entertainment for God knows what's next. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.